Good morning, guys. How are you today? This morning we are going to be repairing a broken hose bib that my son accidentally broke when we were installing the garden gate, which is just behind me. So instead of keeping it right next to the gate where it originally was, we're going to bring it around to the other corner of this wall. We're going to show you how to tap into an existing water line and also as well as installing a new hose reel. We turned off the water to the sprinklers, then cut where we spliced in the T. When attaching the T, we prepped the PVC pipe by first sanding the burrs, then applying PVC primer and glue. From here, we're attaching the pipe that goes to the hose bib. You'll want to prime and glue this as well. Now we get to attach the riser to the pipe. Before attaching the hose bib, we put an elbow on the riser first. I'm attaching the handle with the Allen screw and wrench that's included in the hose reel box. When I finished with the handle, I attached the leader hose to the swivel connector that's on the side of the hose reel. Then I fed it behind the hose reel itself, so I could attach it to the hose bib down near the ground. I'm attaching a Y valve so I can have two outlets, one to connect to the other end of the leader hose and one to fill my watering can. I attached my 75-foot garden hose. This particular hose reel can accommodate up to 125 feet of hose. Now I'll be able to reach not just my vegetable garden, but also to the end of our backyard where I planted my hydrangeas. Finally, I get to attach my dram wand. These are the best, because the water comes out of the nozzle like rain and it doesn't damage your plants. Well, you can tell it's a new day. What is that saying? The best laid plans sometimes often go awry. Well, that's what happened to us the other day. We were filming and the memory card was full, didn't realize it, and because we were filming so early, we had to wait for the store to open to go get another memory card. Got that all set up, began to install the hose reel. When we opened the box, it was completely taped up brand new. There was a different hose reel in the box. As we were pulling it out, we could tell it was used. And I thought, okay, let me look at this again, because it took me by surprise. So we boxed it all up, ran to the hardware store. We remembered that there was another one on the shelf, so as my husband was standing in line to return it, I ran to go grab the other one, went up to the cashier, asked, hey, can we open it here in front of you to make sure everything's okay? And yep, you guessed it, it was another used hose reel. This time, that hose reel looked like it had been on the wall for at least a few years. It was so beat up. Of course, the cashier was a little embarrassed, but it wasn't her fault. Got all that squared away. Of course, you know that takes time because you're waiting in line and etc. Had to go all the way across town to another hardware store, hoping that they had some in stock. Right when we got to the store, and we decided, well, let's just open it up right here in the aisle before we ever even get to the cashier. And it was the right one. Brand new, everything was great. But by the time we got home, after running to all the different stores and the time had passed and we had other obligations during the day, we thought, oh, well, I don't think we were able to finish that. So here we are, it's a new day. We landed up hitting a stud when we were drilling into the wall, and because of that we used wood screws. If you don't hit a stud, you can use concrete, stucco, toggle screws, and that'll work just fine. Once you bring it in to the wall, this will open up, I want to say collapse, but it'll open up and catch. So I used a 75-foot hose that reaches all the way across almost to the other side of my yard to my hydrangeas. Primarily, I wanted this put in for my garden. It is on drip, but I do have to do supplemental watering because it gets so warm here. And that was mostly why I wanted this, because what was happening, I was having to bring a bucket because the hose wouldn't reach around here. And that was taking a lot of time. So this is super exciting for me that I have it right here and I'm able to, wind it up really great and quickly. So I also chose a dram hose. And what I like about the dram is it has that gentle rain, and that way it doesn't disturb your plants. And so I'm a real fan of the dram. Not easy to find. I'm sure you can get them online, but the hardware stores just don't seem to carry them around here. There was one hardware store that has them in town, so I made sure that I went to that particular hardware store. I also put a Y on here, and the reason why I did that was so I could just bring a bucket and turn it on instead of having to unreel the hose and do that. So that makes it quick if I just wanted one little bucket of water. I wanted to see if there anything else that I wanted to cover here. Oh, the garden behind me. So I'm not sure if the camera catches the angle, but I already harvested all the corn last week, and we only did a couple of rows, and it came out terrific. So I'm letting the stalks dry so I can use them for my porch decorations come fall. So I'm excited about that because those aren't easy to find either when you want to decorate for fall. On the other side of me, you probably can see that I have a climbing rose bush that is covered in chicken wire that is suffering from a little bit of chlorosis. Well, I say it's suffering from chlorosis, but I have a feeling my dog is the culprit. He was marking it as male dogs do. We had a piece of chicken wire. I landed up putting iron tone on it and put the chicken wire around it, and it's slowly coming back. I'm seeing new buds on it, so I'm excited about that. It looked beautiful when I planted it, and then, it wasn't even 2 weeks later, it started going downhill, and I knew it was him. I'll have to give you an update on my garden at some point, but where I pulled the corn out, I planted little mini pumpkins. And I don't have a really big area to plant pumpkins because, they say to space those 6 to 10 feet apart. I don't have the packet in front of me, but the little ones, I thought, maybe I'll give that a try. So I know it's late in the season, but because it stays warm for so long here, I'm hoping that maybe I'll get a couple little pumpkins out of that. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope you guys are having a really great weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.